4 players would like to take this into their carry-on luggage on their trips home. Starting with Thomas Larsson, who's won twice overseas, but not yet in the U.S. Patrick Dombrowski seeks his first tour title in his 15th season as a pro, while A.J. Johnson is a young rising star, and Mitch Beasley, runner-up at the TFC. It's a solid field for the Chameleon Championship, and it's happening right now in the World Series of Bowling. Here we are inside Reno, Nevada's National Bowling Stadium downtown. The PBA Chameleon Championship presented by HotelPlanner.com. And there are 4 finalists: Randy Peterson, Thomas Larsson, Patrick Dombrowski, A.J. Johnson, and the veteran Mitch Beasley.
One of our players today will win on U.S. soil for the first time.
And one of them could very well be A.J. Johnson. He is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Dave. So, AJ, I was here during match play when you secured your spot on this television show, and you got pretty emotional afterward. Why was it so important for you to make this show?
You know, since the Masters last year, I've been really working hard to get back to this point. I made a lot of good changes before coming out here with my guy Brian, Greg back home. I know they're watching. Came out here, worked with Jazz now, and the reps here for Storm. Just been working on a lot of good things to get the ball to go through the pins the right way, get it to read the right way. And it seemed to have been working out. Seemed to work out today.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you in the booth.
Kimberly and AJ, thank you very much. He's referring to what happened in the USBC Masters in Green Bay at Ashwaubenon 2015. Jason Belmonte beat him in the finals 202 to 157. Randy, what's this pattern like, the Chameleon?
Well, it plays pretty slick, and all 4 of our players are great at one thing, and that's rolling it, keeping their hand behind the bowling ball and up the back. And you have to do that on Chameleon. Keep your angles tight and really roll it.
Now, all 4 players will be competing simultaneously. The top 2 scorers will advance to the final and a chance at $20,000. And first up will be Clarkville, Tennessee's Mitch Beasley, 22nd year as a professional. And a clean start. Got to be a little bit of nerves no matter how many years you've been bowling to start off a telecast, and he handled it perfectly.
Agreed. Talk about keeping your hand behind it and up the back. Watch this young man from Denmark, Thomas Larsson.
Now, the tour titles were overseas in Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates. And we're off to a flying start.
Oh, I talked to him right before we went on the air. He said straighter is greater, and he just showed you that.
Patrick Dombrowski from Parma, Ohio. 6 regional championships, looking for that first one nationally. Now through the face a little bit and behind the difficult 3-6-10 is that 9.
Not what you want to try to convert first time on television, first frame.
And A.J. Johnson, the youngest of the 4 at 24. He did have the one big shot, a 2-time Team USA member. Powerful strike for Johnson.
My first shot hooked on TV this time.
Well, Dombrowski has to cut through the noise here for a tricky spare. Nope.
You see a lot of players now trying to throw it straight at the 3-6-9-10. That's how difficult that spare has become on our challenging animal oil patterns.
It's also through the face. That time the 9 clears out of there. There are days, Randy, where Mitch is not even the best bowler in his own house.
Talking about his wife, Angelimar. You know, he once beat her in a regional.
In a final, that's right. First time that's ever happened in PBA history.
Hey, how did dinner taste that night?
For him, really good. Mixed him up, and Larsson opens with a double. Getting back to Mitch, my guess is he had to buy that night, at the very least.
Well, I would think that would be the appropriate thing to do. And there she is.
Stupid ball.
A.J. Johnson, who had a ripping strike on the right lane.
Using two different balls. I'm talking with the players. Left lane's tighter. And speaking with some of the ball reps down there, some of the guys are using a lot of surface, and you can see that's pretty evident on A.J. Johnson's equipment.
Yeah, looked like a solid shot. He thought so too.
One of the things he's been working on is to try to get a little softer with his speed and his hit.
Dombrowski hits it. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. That looked like the absolute perfect shot.
Welcome to television, Patrick.
Man.
So cruel.
I'll throw a theory in here in a second that I got from Marshall Holman, our buddy. Lots of coverage. Marshall's thought is you're seeing more of those 8s and 9s that just stay there because the equipment is more powerful than ever before.
Well, and I'm not going to argue that point. The equipment is definitely stronger. But, you know, here's the thing. When you watch, excuse me, some of the strongest strike balls on tour from the two-handers, say Jason Belmonte, Jesper Svensson on the left side, E.J. Tackett, they figure out a way to get their bowling balls to come off of the end of the pattern softer so they don't leave the back row. Mitch Beasley.
Oh, and a messenger flying over there. You saw his arsenal earlier, and he has a hook rate of 8 on what he is throwing here.
Was that a cyborg pearl?
Yes.
That was a massive messenger.
Thomas Larson's arsenal. A Black Widow Dark Legend solid.
Solid cover stock's going to read the old pattern sooner than a pearlized cover stock.
It is hard to argue with that start. Dombrowski seeking his first strike. And he'll find it. 5-pin the last to fall.
Patrick Dombrowski, a really, really good player, can do a lot of different things, very versatile. He can hook the entire lane, slow hook it, and as you can see, up the back and straight.
A.J. Johnson, who was a tremendous bowler, collegiate MVP at McKendree. First team All-American. He's a junior gold champion as well. Oh, man, for just a half a second, there was a 7-9 standing there until the other pins cooperated.
Well, A.J. Johnson's a great athlete. He was a great high school football quarterback, and that's just 10 solid in the pit.
So let's take a look at our Barbasol close shave of the day. This is an unfriendly one.
Yeah, really nice shot here by Patrick. Watch the pin action. 5-pin actually gets cut off and goes right of the 9. Ball goes left of it.
We'll step aside with Thomas Larson with the front 3 to have the early lead. The PBA Chameleon Championship, presented by HotelPlanner.com, is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Reno Tahoe USA. For your next vacation getaway, go to visitrenotahoe.com. By Barbasol Shaving Cream, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol. And by Eldorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Circus, Reno's premier downtown properties. Time for our extra frame highlights. How we got down to that last 4 here for the Chameleon. The top seed through the qualifying was Mike Devaney, but it wasn't meant to be. He's going to lose this one in 4 to Patrick Dombrowski, who will make his first TV Finals appearance.
Our next matchup featured E.J. Tackett against Mitch Beasley. This would go 4 games, but not the way E.J. Tackett would have liked. Check out the messenger from the 48-year-old Beasley. He takes the squirrel out 3-1.
From way back, Brandon Novak would be swept by the classic form of A.J. Johnson. Talk about 2 different styles. Johnson takes him out, including a 290 in the first game.
And in our last matchup, arguably one of the greatest ever, Pete Weber taking on Thomas Larson. Pete battling a hip injury throughout most of the World Series of bowling. Check this out. Ball's not halfway down the lane. Larson loves it. He loves the victory. Beats Weber 259-250 in the last game.
And we send our best to Pete as he works on that back and hip, and hopefully he'll be healthy as soon as possible. We see our scores through 3. Thomas Larson on top, Beasley and Johnson trailing. Dabrowski at the moment 31 down. The top 2 will advance, and the winner getting 20,000, the runner-up 10. And the 2 who are eliminated will receive 5,000 each. You hear those grunts from Beasley, and that time he is just wide right.
And we saw that video of Pete Weber. You know, Pete averaged right at 250 for his matches in the round of 16 and the round of 8, and he's not on the show today. Thomas Larson and Weber had just an amazing match in those 4 games.
Yeah, 4 for 4 for Larson. He watched that one. I loved the fact that he walked away. Usually when guys walk away, they're mad.
Yeah, or it's one of 2. It's either it's so bad they know it, or it's so good. There's no doubt it's going to strike.
And he takes out that fence there. Nicely done by Beasley. A.J. Johnson, Oswego, Illinois, has 1 PBA regional title as a member and 1 as a non-member. He did that in his youth, the PBA regional title in Fairview Heights, Illinois. I mean, he's had great success at a young age.
That's good.
Well, he's okay if he marks. He'll still be tied with Beasley through 4. Thomas Larson's trying to run away, and Dombrowski here looking for his first double.
He hammers it home. Beautifully done by Dombrowski.
Oh, great looking game.
Johnson to clean up what's left behind. No trouble.
That was good.
He still likes that previous shot and had every reason to, just did not get the break.
Yeah, he's gone over to talk with his tour rep and let him know, hey, I threw that one really good. Speaking of really good, this guy is really good at going straight. Straight with some end over end roll.
6 lay in the gutter just a little bit. Larson, a 7-year pro, has been on the Danish national team since 2005. And Beasley, 20-year Air Force vet. Wow. There was no doubt about where the 8 and 9 were going that time.
Pretty amazing to watch what he did earlier this year at the Tournament of Champions. Players were just kind of in awe of what Mitch Beasley was able to do there.
Beasley was the #1 seed, and Jesper Svensson, speaking of rising stars in the game, defeated him in the title match. Dabrowski now, after a slow start, has doubled in the 3rd and 4th. Oh, a ringer.
Good shot. Come on.
Yeah, it was. Needs a strike here to stay tied with Beasley for 2nd. Remember, the top 2 go on to the title.
Oh, he didn't like it.
Get out.
Yeah, he didn't care for it the second he threw it, and he leaves a very difficult split.
Made one.
All right, if you're Johnson, this is frame 5. How aggressive are you going to be here with this split?
Yeah, you got to give this a go.
He did. Now he's going to have to forget about it and get ready for frame 6, because this is a fast pace to this game. And you see what has happened is A.J. Johnson, coming off of that split, has fallen now to 42 back of Thomas Larson, who opened with the front 4. A little off on that one, leaving behind the 2-4-5.
Pete, sunglasses?
Mitch Beasley on this right-hand lane has not struck.
Yeah, he hasn't been close.
Fix that problem.
Great shot there. 6 goes to the sidewall and just crushes the 10.
Larson, there you can see that going straight at it that Randy talked about earlier, that some of the players do nowadays. So he's clean through 6. Dabrowski opened in the first frame. Has been kind of playing catch-up ever since. See, Primal Rage remix. And he left exactly what A.J. Johnson just left.
Yeah, it was a bad shot.
It's not basketball, it's bowling.
What would he mean by that?
Well, he double dribbled it into the front part of the lane. You could hear it bounce. AJ left his by going high, and that was left by Dombrowski going light.
And the 7-pin. Late to the party, but down it goes. And that's a big one for Johnson, because with Dombrowski now in some trouble here, Johnson could move up. Going hard at it. Nope. Oh, A.J. Johnson knows that feeling. Now Mitch Beasley just sort of sitting there, riding a double. And he has struck every time on the left lane in this match. No suspense with that shot at all.
Another quality shot by Mitch Beasley, the 48-year-old. 20 regional titles to his credit.
Now Thomas Larson out of Denmark. Absolute pure power for such a slender person. You see Patrick Dabrowski's road to the finals, qualified with a very solid 231.5 average. Took out Dave Wadka, Jesper Svensson, and then Mike Devaney.
Actually had a roll-off with Dave Wadka. One-ball roll-off that 5th and final game.
Our Columbia 300 fun fact for the World Series of Bowling, with the events included in this year's WSOB. The city of Reno has now hosted 40 PBA Tour events. Now back to A.J. Johnson.
It's a big shot for AJ.
On the lane where he left the split in the 5th frame. Powers him down.
Not done!
That was a huge shot for him. It keeps him in the game and also gives him some confidence moving forward in the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
A perfect 7th from our 4 competitors. Larson looking more and more like he'll be one of the 2 that will get through to the championship match.
And this could very well be the shot that solidifies Mitch Beasley's place in the finals.
See Mitch's road to the finals beat Chris Warren, Matt McNeil, great left-hander, and E.J. Tackett. Tackett's Didn't do badly in Reno, though. He qualified for the match play in all of the patterns. And, of course, the World Series of Bowling, where he was the #1 seed. And that 7-pin just a little lazy.
Man, it was good.
Really good shot and not a great break, but now Johnson has an opening here that he must take advantage of.
He's on the lock. Part of his arsenal. When he hits, they stay hit.
Beautiful shot by A.J. Johnson, keeping himself right in the thick of things. Take it off the sheet now for 237.
As you would expect a veteran to do, Mitch Beasley smothers the 7. But you don't want to be the guy sparing when all of a sudden everybody else is starting to pound 10 straight back. And Dabrowski, if he's going to make a last stand, it starts right now. It actually started in that 7th frame. Oh, ringer. I agree there. You got ripped off.
His tournament's coming to an end, unfortunately. It's all about Beasley and A.J. Johnson now.
It looks very good for Thomas Larson. Some extra oomph behind that shot.
I love it. The Monica Seles of bowling.
There you see Dabrowski in, I would say he's not going to make it, unfortunately for him, but he'll pick up $5,000. So really, you're right. Beasley and Johnson throwing haymakers to see who's going to go against Thomas Larson at the moment. Now, things can change in one shot. That was as good as any of the strikes.
You know, things are getting very interesting right now because here's the scenario. Beasley can strike out for 239.
Okay.
Thomas Larson can go spare, strike, spare for 235. A.J. Johnson can strike out for 237.
And you can hear the unhappiness.
How many times you're going to fall off your thumb?
Falling off his thumb means what?
He's not getting to the foul line the way he normally does, and his release point's changing.
Larson can clean up the 10.
You know, it might be an issue where he's kind of pulling down in the downswing, and the ball's going to come off quick, so he has to grab it.
He'll take it out. The best he'll be able to do is a 192. That will not cut it among the other three. So here's where things get even more intriguing. Can A.J. Johnson make it 4 in a row?
You know, this is a real statement right here for A.J. Johnson, setting up the 10th frame.
Yes, he mixed them up. Little love from Mitch Beasley there, who was impressed.
This one's coming down to the 10th frame, folks.
2 spots, 3 people fighting for it.
Thomas Larson looked like he was locked. No longer the case.
Oh, he got about a similar strike to Johnson's. A little light on that head pin, but he got them all down.
Beasley doesn't strike on this shot. A.J. Johnson will need the first hit in the 10th. controls his own destiny.
Had to hurry back, and did it ever.
A great shot. One of the most underrated bowlers, in my opinion. Mitch Beasley's a heck of a player. This strike here locks a spot in the finals for Thomas Larson.
He doesn't get it. The bucket is there
Thomas.
instead.
He got it a little bit right. That forward end over end roll with no axis rotation was not going to get up to the pocket. Thomas Larson now in jeopardy of not making it into the championship match.
He started faster than anyone with the front four. Has still not made a mistake and still may not make it.
Strike here in good count. Beasley is locked. Strike in 9.
Another quality shot. She knows better than anybody.
Big, strong Mitch Beasley just throwing it great. I'll tell you what, that shot in the 8th frame for Mitch could have cost him, but he finishes huge in the 9th and 10th. He needs just 9 to stay ahead of A.J. Johnson.
We have A.J. Johnson's been waiting through all of this, as has Patrick Dombrowski. Dombrowski will not make it.
7, and he stays ahead of Larson.
He'll get it. Man, what a finish for Beasley. Damn. 4 straight strikes.
That guy's cooler than the bottom of a polar bear's feet. Goes 3-bagger, 9 spare, 4-bagger to end the game. 239. He's going to be your high score. Now, A.J. Johnson, 2 strikes in 9. He'll move on.
There's 1.
It's moments like this for a young professional that can really turn around a career. Getting up in the 10th frame and getting it done when you need to.
And in an environment you're not normally used to either. With the lights on, against some quality players, head to head. Johnson again must strike on this ball, where it will be Beasley and Larson for the Chameleon title. Yo, he got a kick on the 4.
Well, it looked left the whole way, and it looked like he kind of amped up the speed a little bit, which kept the ball on line just a fraction longer. But there you go. Tripped 4-7 out late. A.J. Johnson needs 9. And Thomas Larson will be eliminated.
With a clean
one's
game,
still
a
split
235, and that may not be good enough.
I mean, didn't we pencil him as one of the guys that was going to make it after like
Several frames ago, yes.
like after 5 frames,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
A.J. Johnson on a 6-bagger right now. Another strike or 9. He will bowl Mitch Beasley for the title.
An 8, and they're tied. He knew it. There's the 9. Fist pump as that ball is going down the approach.
Great ball, man. Great ball always, okay? Great job.
It'll be Mitch Beasley and A.J. Johnson. 24 years separate the two as they both seek their first PBA Tour title. Getting them fired up, getting ready for this Chameleon Championship, part of the World Series of Bowling, a championship match between Mitch Beasley and A.J. Johnson. It was a thrilling foursome that went at it. Now we're down to the 2 high scores. A.J. Johnson right there, and he will start looking for his first PBA Tour title. They both are. They have won regionals, so these guys have been champions before, but This is a little bit of a different, pardon expression, Randy, animal.
And both players have bowled for major championships before, both in a title match. Hello.
And goodbye. Even gave it the Matumbo finger wag.
Not in my house. Check this out. Head pin goes to the sidewall. Hey, 10 pin. Get out of my way. No, you don't.
So Mitch Beasley, the major that Randy spoke of, is the Fire Lake PBA TFC in Shawnee, Oklahoma. He was the top seed there. It is no disgrace to lose to Jesper Svensson. Others have done it. Oh, seriously?
Wow. Thank you very much.
Actually, the correct phrase, Mitch, is thank you very little.
Wow. Oh, I can think of a lot of other phrases.
Yeah, and so can he, but watch the ball go right by the 9 pin. Unfortunate. He's going to make a move off of that the next time he's on the right lane. It's part of the game. You got to stay ahead of the transition, make those little micro adjustments, and keep plugging.
Well, let's take a visit with Kimberly Pressler, who's standing by with the two players who unfortunately did not, excuse me, just with Thomas Larson, pardon me, Patrick Nabrowski. Now, whether with Thomas, here's Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So, Thomas, that was a tough break for you. You know what? You had a clean game. You were so close. You got a 235, but you were 1 pin shy of making the finals. How devastating is that?
It really sucks. I had a chance to shut him out, and I didn't, and then he gets up and throws 2 great shots and gets it done, and it's hard. It'll be hard the next couple of days, but it's a good tournament still.
What's worse, not playing well or playing well but just missing the finals?
That's a tough question. I would say I gave it my bestest, and I can take that away from it. I bowled well, even though I was a little nervous, and that's something positive.
Well, you should be proud. You did play well. Guys, back to you.
All right, Kimberly, by the way, greatest answer ever. That first answer.
Who said Thomas Larson doesn't speak English, huh?
Oh, I think
This guy's
said
English
it all.
is perfect.
You saw Beasley got a dramatic trip on the 7 to get his strike down. Let's see what A.J. Johnson does here. And yes again.
I mean, that's just dirty. Absolutely dirty. Back-to-back messengers, but that one was extra special.
It's time for a little track tech talk with Mr. Peterson.
Well, you know, AJ's been working real hard to get back to this point in his early career, his young career, I should say. But he's working on getting the ball to read the lane sooner. So he worked with Mike Jasnow here in Reno, worked on increasing his flat spot. They moved him back on the approach, got his backswing a little bit shorter, and all of a sudden now the ball motion is starting to get better. It's starting to read. This is a big, strong guy. He's got to take some muscle out.
He didn't.
That was a little better.
Remember, the tendency for athletes like A.J. Johnson is to get aggressive and throw. And he really has to learn how to back down. He is so strong and so powerful, he can really create a lot of revolutions, but a lot of times power players try to make the ball come around the corner, and all they have to do is back it down and get the ball to read earlier.
So swing easy, hit hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to put it.
I'll tell you what, these two put on a great show as they did in the first game. 239 for Beasley, 236 for Johnson.
See Mitch Beasley, a little unusual backswing as the arm is bent going back and then straightens out a little bit, and then he kind of bends the elbow again to create the revolutions at the bottom. But, you know, this is a student of the game. This man here knows a lot about motion, bowling balls, layouts, surfaces, and he's a good bowler. There's a lot of information in that head, and he uses that to his advantage.
20 PBA Regional Tour titles. Now, these two are just in top form. Not a bit of let up out of either of these two in this game. after the emotions that they both had to go through just to get to this game and the shot at $20,000 and the Chameleon Championship trophy.
Can A.J. Johnson control his emotions enough to allow his body to go through the proper motion?
Perhaps an answer right there with that awkward looking 210.
Well, it was wide right out of his hand, and the only way that ball was going to get back is if he threw it half as fast. It was just a miss.
Greedy on that one. You were hooked.
You heard him say he got greedy on that one. Go for it! Nail it!
Two tens are cheap. Players are making them like it's making a 5-pin. Here is your hammer tough spare replay as he throws the 2 right into the 10 perfectly.
And he had to go up there knowing, as well as Beasley's rolling the ball, if I leave an open frame, I'm in big trouble.
I mean, you got to think that Beasley's not going to miss the pocket.
You see AJ's road to the finals. Swept Brandon Novak to get into the last 4. That's a great recovery.
That's better.
Yes, it is.
Well, 5 to his dad there.
I got a little greedy because I knew that lane hooked a little bit.
Talking to his ball rep, got a little greedy, meaning he got the ball farther right than he needed to, and he thought it would get back because there's more friction on the right lane.
That was also wide right, but that 4-pin just got kicked. It looked like it was sliding into second base.
Well, little softer speed for Mitch Beasley, so if he gets it a little right, he can create a little more down lane motion.
So Beasley riding 4 in a row. Something didn't look right to his eye. Now you can outfit yourself just like the pros with official PBA jerseys that are available exclusively at PBA.com. The jerseys are made from a high-performance fabric and can be customized for each person or team. Head to PBA.com today and click on the custom jersey link to begin.
A player's first order of business when they get on the lane is to check the rack. If they go to their bowling ball first and then ask for a re-rack, they won't get it. So their first order of business is checking the rack. Mitch didn't like the configuration of the pins on the left lane, asked for a re-rack and got it. Now working on a 4-bagger, 6 frame.
Five in a row for Mitch Beasley. Johnson down 22 here in the 6th.
This is going to be an interesting shot.
Now, this was his greedy lane that left him a split, which he converted. And he's got a sleeper back there.
Wow, he liked that one. That shot looked pretty good and never grabbed a hold of the lane. This looks like it's online and where he wants it, and you see it just hydroplaning. Comes in light, leaves a 2-8. 4-5 goes sideways.
So 2-8. Handled with a plum. He's got to shake off, though, that immediately, that relief pitcher mentality that all bowlers have to have as well when one doesn't go your way.
Well, the problem is that his opponent's on a 5-bagger, and you're coming off of a shot that you thought was really good, and it didn't even hit the pocket. knowing he's got to go back to that right lane, you know, what's going to happen the next time? He's good here on this left lane. He should be a good shot here. He's got to finish the match on that right lane as well.
And he owns the left lane. Mom and Dad are happy.
Last one, gotta get a little bit baby shape out of it, right? Just gotta dial it down.
That's Tim Mack, his fall representative, who is extremely happy about Penn State being in the Rose Bowl.
That one was good.
Okay. Talk about an athlete. Look at Tim Mack. He's about 3 weeks removed from knee surgery.
Yeah, those two could probably throw some weights around together at the end of the day if they'd like to.
Timmy played a little football at Penn State.
He did. And Mitch Beasley, who spent 20 years in the Air Force. Yeah, oh my on that messenger. And his wife is equally thrilled. She's a very accomplished player in her own right.
Yeah, this is a good break. Remember the bad one he got in the first frame when he left a solid 9 on that lane. Look at that reaction.
He's riding 6 straight.
If Mitch Beasley is able to pull this victory out, it will be a long time coming, and I expect to see a guy who's not very emotional to get very emotional.
He does not have a PBA Tour title. We mentioned earlier he's got a ton of regional titles, 20 of them. He was the #1 seed in the TFC this year.
Baby.
Well, he's seemingly unstoppable.
Well, Mitch Beasley is throwing it absolutely beautifully. He's in the driver's seat right now. He's working on 7 in a row. A.J. Johnson now is thinking, oh, it's off the sheet or I'm going to have 0 chance of winning. But he can still strike out for 258.
And it might not be enough. That's going to wobble, but
Really?
it won't go down.
Come on. Not that bad.
No, it wasn't.
Dang it.
This is really good by A.J.
Oh, and the 6 even kissed the 10 a little bit on the way around.
I think it was the vortex of the 6-pin going around the 10 that actually was trying to pull the 10-pin off the way.
Okay, the vortex, huh? Okay. Well, here's an interesting thought. We have a lot of youth in this World Series of Bowling making finals. But earlier, we had a 40-year-old, Mike Wolf, win the Cheetah. We're looking at a 48-year-old in Mitch Beasley looking to be, as you mentioned, the driver's seat for this Chameleon Championship. So it's not all going to be about the young guys in this World Series of Bowling.
Yeah, and it's shaping up to be a 48-year-old and a 40-year-old winning back-to-back events here at the World Series of Bowling. Mitch Beasley right now just has to stay behind the foul line.
And Johnson in the foundation gets a strike. Right now he's sort of fighting the game at the moment. He's a little bit unhappy with some of the breaks he's received.
Mitch Beasley going to tape. He's going to put some tape in that thumb hole as A.J. Johnson gives the right lane and the 10-pin on the right lane the old stink eye. If he carries that hit there, it's a very interesting match.
Beasley riding 7 straight.
A little moisture with the hot breath in the finger and thumb holes. Mitch Beasley taking his time. Oh, no.
Whoops.
No.
Well, A.J. Johnson wasn't looking. I'm sure he's looked up by now and saw that he, without even bowling, got a huge break.
Well, okay, so we're going to just pencil in 9 out here. This is another great shot by Mitch Beasley, and we'll give him 9 here in the 9th frame. And again, he just needs a mark in the 10th, any mark. Coming up on the good lane, the left lane, the lane he chose to finish on.
Take a little extra time here.
You don't think this is a big shot in this man's career? He's 2 years away from bowling on the senior tour, the PBA 50 tour.
There you see what he needs. Okay, very makeable.
Wow.
But he must make it.
Wow. Nothing comes easy when it's your first title.
There's an incredible amount of tension over a 7-pin. He has to make this. Now just 3.
Stay behind the foul line, keep it on the lane. Mitch Beasley, after a long journey, will finally win title number 1. What an incredible story.
And for A.J. Johnson, he is in his 2nd TV final in 2 years. He did not win the USBC Masters, lost to Jason Belmonte. He, barring a miracle here, will not win this one, but again, at 24 years old, with all the changes he's made in his game, Mitch Beasley is a champion on the PBA Tour.
Congratulations, man. Great bowling all week. Nice job.
What a deserving winner.
Awesome job, buddy. Thanks.
Mitch Beasley has picked up the Chameleon Championship, $20,000, and the title of PBA Tour champion.
The best investment we can make is in the
Presented by HotelPlanner.com is brought to you by HotelPlanner.com, the best place. The PBA Chameleon Championship, presented by HotelPlanner.com, is brought to you by HotelPlanner.com, the best place to book hotel rooms. Best rooms, best rate, guaranteed. By Reno Tahoe USA. For your next vacation getaway, go to visitRenoTahoe.com. By the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. And by Skechers, wide fit with air-cooled memory foam. It's first class for your feet. Beautiful Tahoe. Just, in about 45 minutes, hour outside of Reno.
Dave, that looks like the tree I hit when I was skiing here.
Wow, I'm glad both of you survived. Let's go to our Geico Championship recap.
Late rally by A.J. Johnson, but that wobbler 10 in the 8th frame would prove to be his undoing. Mitch Beasley, messenger, even a pocket 7-10 in the 9th. Couldn't stop Mitch Beasley from capturing his first ever PBA Tour title.
246 to 237 over A.J. Johnson, and Mitch is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
I sure am. So, Mitch, you've been a pro for 22 years. You have 20 regional titles, but this is your first ever PBA Tour title. Describe this moment for us.
It's amazing. It's been a long road here. Didn't start bowling until I was in the Air Force when I was 19, and managed to win quite a few regionals and come out here and be a touring pro, and had a couple of bad injuries, took me out for a while, and then everything's come together, and bowling balls are great and throwing great shots, and it's amazing to get it. I just wish my dad was here to see it.
Did you ever think this moment was going to come?
A few years ago when I was down and hurt and I couldn't bowl, I couldn't hardly walk, had a bad hip and back injury. I didn't think it would ever come then. And then got better and worked on my game a lot in last year, and then belief and the good shots came back. So
The good shots came back indeed, and congratulations, you are officially a PBA Tour title holder.
thank you.
Now, congratulations, Mitch. Thank you, Kimberly, very much. He certainly earned it, too, because A.J. Johnson made him earn it. All right, coming up tomorrow, more Because We Love You at 2:30 Eastern on ESPN, the PBA Scorpion Championship. And then at 3:30, the PBA Shark Championship. Will Walter Ray Williams win his 100th combined title? We'll find out at 3:30 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. So Mitch Beasley, congratulations for picking up that initial PBA Tour title. Here's to many, many more. For Randy Peterson, I'm Dave Lamont. Also for Kimberly Pressler. Thanks to our crew as well. And thank you for watching. Happy holidays, everybody.